There are firsts in collecting, and then there are, well, firsts. The first of the firsts, which is always quite special. Now, coinage has been made going back to 1793 here in the United States, half cents, large cents, and we see a lot of that today in the marketplace. Lots of different stuff. We have 50 atoms a night, but we very rarely talk about the other monetary instrument, which is the paper money, our paper currency, made by the Federal Reserve. And tonight we have a first, one of my great stories, one of the great stories in currency, uncirculated at a killer price. We're not going to last 5 minutes. Take a peek and let's go. So when the U.S. Treasury introduced federal notes made by the U.S. government versus individual banks, which were sometimes fictitious, and the government stopped it because, again, people were just taking advantage. We had these things called large size currencies, saddle blankets. Well, in 1928, we shrunk our currency to a size that we carry in our pockets today. They call them smallbacks, also regular currency. The first one they did was a silver certificate, and you are looking at it. The blue seal is silver, just like the large notes. But this one got the nickname Funny Back, and that's the back you're looking at. Why do they give it that nickname? Well, what other popular board game was going on at this time in history? Monopoly. Look at the reverse. Has a resemblance, doesn't it? So the nickname came that it was called funny money, funny back. The silver certificate, the small size, is here to stay. That means all the bigger notes were destroyed over time. That's why they're so hard to find. But this particular note, this design, only lasted until 1935. Then the 35 design came into place, and it lasted until 56. The last silver certificate was a 1957 design, and that ended in 1963. So these blue seals or silver certificates are just special. Outright special. They're intended to last 9 months in circulation and then being replaced. It is very rare today that you find a nice looking circulated $1 funny. Finding uncirculated specimens. And we work with the top 3 to 4, 5 currency experts in the country. And their complaint is finding the affordable rarities. These are that. The great storied notes of our history. It's the first small size note ever. It's a silver certificate, and it's George Washington, and they reversed it with a crazy story. Right? All of it there. My competition for circulated notes are 119 to 129. And for uncirculated notes like you're looking at here are upwards of 189 to 199. We're always going to give you the best price we possibly can. And tonight we're lucky that we can beat them by $40 to $50 per note. We also put ours on the special hard acrylic lens. This is a snap open lens, but there's a little groove in the middle where the note stays. But that way, these gorgeous, like they were made yesterday notes, even though they were made almost 100 years ago, are something. $1 silver payable to the bearer on demand. You walk into a bank, you get 10 dimes, 4 quarters, 2 half dollars, a silver dollar, you name it. This was just meant to make monetary transfer easier as citizens, as consumers, like we are here. The recall was June 4th, 1963. And then the government stopped redeeming silver certificates. You could bring them in, but they just stopped giving you $1 of silver. The redemption period is over. Even though silver coins were still being made, silver paper wasn't transferable at that point. Many of you might have been part of that flow. getting a silver certificate, going down and getting silver, and then they raised the price of silver. It was a wonderful and crazy time. They're also known as blue seals, right? That's the tag of silver. When you look at an uncirculated note, they are like a wow factor. It's kind of like a high-grade uncirculated coin versus a circulated coin. They look nice, but an unk just has this brilliance. Paper, the crispness, and just the look and feel just stands out. Just like the example you're seeing on your screen. As I referenced in 1963, when we ended the receipt of, you could still use them, you just couldn't get silver for them. But by then, this was a third generation small size. Again, there were 3 different small size silver certificates. The very first one, this one. They replaced it with the 35 series, and then they replaced it with the 57 series. The reverse changed on the 35, and then the motto "In God We Trust" was added in the 57. But these first design, first use examples are still my favorites. Guys, give me a 30-second clock, please. We only have a handful of these available. Do we have circulated? Yes, we do. Check us out. Do we have other currency? Absolutely. They fly in and they fly out. It is one of the hottest segments of the market, and people are realizing that these crisp, beautiful notes, our history, disappear because they're paper. Coinage is meant to last for generations. Paper just to get the job done, right? But tonight, the first ever small size silver certificate. It's a 1928. The nickname is a funny back. It is the first of our small size notes, as I referenced. Ours are beautiful unks, $40 to $50 less than our closest competitor, called the AVC way, which means great stuff, great price. Give me a call.